Drake just lost his last card against Kendrick, and fans are calling it the end of an era. What started as a lyrical back and forth has spiraled into something deeper, darker, and way more personal than anyone expected. But it ain't just about bars anymore. It's about reputation, legacy, and a move Drake made that fans are now saying backfired in the worst way possible. So what happened? Well, less than 48 hours ago, a classified Drake drop was leaked online, a so-called WTH ROP, as a called W secret weapon track that was supposed to be his final nail in the coffin for Kendrick. But instead of destroying him, it left the internet divided and Drake's own fans scrambling for explanations. Why did this lethal diss fall flat? Who leaked it and why? And what secret conversation allegedly went down behind the scenes between Drake and a certain West Coast executive that has the industry buzzing? Rumors are flying, insiders are talking, and sources close to both camps are saying this might have been Drake's last real play, and now Kendrick might be walking away as the undisputed winner in the biggest rap beef of the decade. Grab your tea, because this is messy, calculated, and way too deep for surface-level drama. You won't believe who flipped, who folded, and who fans are saying was never really loyal to begin with. When the leak dropped late Tuesday night, it wasn't even on a big platform. It's just a random SoundCloud link. No profile pic, no tags, nothing but the track title, Last Response. Within an hour, Twitter was melting down. Fans thought this was it, Drake's final blow in the most talked about beef of the decade. People expected haymakers, name drops, body shots instead. It got confusion. The track was cold, polished. Drake's delivery was tight, but something was off. Didn't land the way people thought it would. The energy felt forced, too. Rehearsed. Like Drake had recorded it weeks ago, maybe even before Kendrick dropped his final verse. And the wildest part? The song barely mentioned Kendrick by name. It danced around the conflict, throwing subliminals that didn't really hit. The tone was arrogant but cautious, like someone trying to win a chess game by stalling instead of striking. And that's when fans started asking, was this even meant to drop? Just hours later, one of Drake's most loyal engineer affiliates, who goes by the name MZ3, went live on Instagram and dropped a cryptic message that wasn't supposed to be heard yet. Somebody's playing dirty. Fans were shook. Was this really an inside job? A leak from within the OVO circle? Within 24 hours, things got even messier. A post from a burner account claiming to be close to Kendrick's PG Long team hinted that the track was part of a larger folder Drake had compiled. Not just one track, but a full unreleased series. The burner claimed there were 6 unreleased diss records, all aimed at Kendrick and his camp. And allegedly, Last Response was the softest one of the 6. The rest? Supposedly brutal. But here's the plot twist. Nobody could confirm if the other 5 tracks even existed. And when people started pressing OVO insiders, they suddenly went quiet. One OVO affiliate even deleted their Twitter account entirely. Meanwhile, Kendrick's camp, silent, completely unbothered. No tweets, no subs, no control-level flexes. Just radio silence. And that silence said everything, because the streets were already talking. Blogs were running with headlines like Kendrick already won, Drake's plan flopped. And Drake's final card backfires as fans question his strategy. Fans flooded comment sections. Even Drake stans started asking, why didn't he drop this when it mattered? And then came the theory that shook the timeline. A known Toronto Music Insider claimed Drake had recorded the D's weeks before Kendrick's Not Like Us, but held on to it after getting industry pressure to chill. Apparently, executives behind the scenes, including folks tied to Universal and even certain Spotify reps, warned Drake not to escalate things. The Insider wrote, Drake was ready to go nuclear, but the higher reps made him sit on it. They were scared of what could happen to the brand. The brand? That one word lit a fire online because that's what it all boiled down to. Branding. Business. Protecting the image. Fans began to feel like they'd been played. Like the entire beef wasn't even real anymore. Just two legends, dancing around each other for headlines and streams. And when Last Response leaked, it confirmed what some had already suspected. Drake Matav wanted smoke, but the machine around him, DIDN single quotes T. Still, the leak was already out. And once something's on the internet, it moves fast. By the next morning, a Kendrick affiliate, not from Pidgey Lang, but someone with long-standing Teed connections, tweeted, "This the best they had. Lol, we ain't even blink." That tweet went viral, and in a matter of hours, memes flooded the timeline. Fans edited Drake's face onto Uno reverse cards. Others started calling him Light Jab Drizzy. Some even brought up the infamous Push diss from 2018, saying he's still recovering from that one. The disrespect was crazy, and right in the middle of the chaos, Drake was silent. Not a post, not a story, not a like. Just nothing, and then another twist. A new report surfaced claiming that Kendrick had been approached 3 times in the past year to end the beef behind the scenes. Not by Drake directly, but by intermediaries tied to sponsors, tech companies, even tours investors. The reason? Money. Joint deals, festivals, potential collaborations. And each time, Kendrick allegedly said no. One quote from the report stood out. He's not interested in pretending, not interested in photo ops. This isn't about performance, it's about principles. That quote hit fans hard, 'cause it aligned with what Kendrick's always stood for: raw bars, real energy, no fake brotherhood for the sake of the bag, and Drake. Well, the silence was making things look worse. Fans were used to him being calculated, strategic, always a move ahead. But now it seemed like his chessboard had been flipped, especially after a leaked voice note surfaced, allegedly, from someone inside OVO's marketing team saying, "This wasn't how it was supposed to go. We had the rollout, the visuals, the entire comeback arc. But now, we might just bury it." Bury it. Like, the whole rollout got canceled after one leak. And as if that wasn't enough, a wild rumor started gaining traction online that Drake had planned to debut his full Kendrick Response package at a surprise OVO Fest show in LA next month, right in Kendrick's backyard. Unreleased tracks, diss visuals, even a mock-up of Kendrick's silhouette on stage. Similar to what Kendrick did with Drake's Owl Chain? Fans were stunned. True, that would have been one of the boldest moves in rap beef history, but now it's probably dead in the water. And according to another source close to the tour organizers, it wasn't just creative differences that killed the plan, it was internal fallout. People inside Drake's own circle allegedly started questioning the direction. One close affiliate reportedly told him, "You don't win by looking desperate." And that's the word that started circulating, desperate, for the first time in years. Drake wasn't being seen as the cool, untouchable six god. He was being seen as vulnerable, maybe even out of touch. And this is where we pick up in part 2, because behind closed doors, OVO was scrambling, group chats leaked, managers argued. And one former friend of Drake's, who hasn't spoken to him in over a year, reappeared with receipts that could flip the narrative again. What he revealed left even Drake's biggest fans speechless. The next wave of drama didn't come from Kendrick or even Drake himself. It came from someone fans hadn't heard from in years. A name that used to be deeply tied to OVO's come up, but mysteriously disappeared from the scene after 2018. His name, Royce Styles. A former OVO creative director. Royce was once responsible for the aesthetic behind some of Drake's biggest rollouts, the Views cover, the infamous Hotline Bling set, and several music video treatments that helped define the OVO brand. But after Push dropped the story of Adidas, Royce vanished. No explanation, just gone. Until now, Out of nowhere, Royce went live on Twitch, not even to spill tea, but to set the record straight, as he called it. What started off slow, with him playing unreleased beats and casually reminiscing about the 2016 era, turned into a full-on confessional. "There's things y'all don't know," he said, leaning into the camera. "This ain't about rap beef. This been deeper. Egos, sabotage, insecurity. All of that." Fans in the chat were confused until he dropped the bombshell. "Drake been scared of Kendrick since 2017, since that damn tour. I was there. I watched the whole energy shift." He claimed Drake was supposed to drop a diss track years ago, back when Kendrick dropped Element and fans swore he was throwing subs. According to Royce, Drake recorded a response, a full verse targeting Kendrick by name, but scrapped it after playing it for two close friends who told him it wasn't strong enough. That shook him, Royce said. He never wanted to be second best. So he waited, plotted, thought he could bait Kendrick with sneak disses, but that man don't take bait. And then he said something that blew fans' minds. The whole J. Cole situation. That wasn't just a feature. That was a buffer? Royce was referring to the now viral moment when Drake and Cole linked for first-person shooter, which many believed was an olive branch move between the two rappers. But Royce said it was deeper than that. Drake allegedly hoped that, by teaming with Cole, Kendrick would back off, like forming a quiet alliance. Cole wasn't in on it like that, he clarified. But Drake thought if he looked unified with Cole, it'd isolate Kendrick, divide the Trinity, play the politics. Fans were stunned. This wasn't just a lyrical war. It was a psychological one. And Drake had been making moves behind the curtain long before Not Like Us broke the internet. And just when things seemed like they couldn't get worse, Royce pulled out an old hard drive and teased that he still had a private OVO group chat log from 2021. In it, Drake allegedly talks about needing a cultural reset to reclaim dominance, and that Kendrick's got the critics, but we got the people. It's those exact words. "We got the people" became a meme instantly. Fans started posting clown emojis with captions like, "Do you still got us now?" Even OVO fan accounts started falling silent. Meanwhile, the timing couldn't have been worse. Kendrick had just been spotted in Compton shooting what looked like a music video. Drone footage leaked of him standing on a rooftop with a group of kids throwing up West Coast signs while a choir played in the background. No words, no verses, just energy. The contrast was clear. Kendrick was focused, still moving, still creating. And Drake, stuck in damage control behind the scenes, OVO, was unraveling. Multiple OVO producers, including one who worked on More Life, allegedly removed their OVO tags from their bios. One even tweeted, "Loyalty ain't blind. We move when the compass shifts." That tweet was deleted within 5 minutes, but screenshots last forever. Industry folks started whispering. Podcasts exploded. Everyone wanted to know, was this finally the beginning of Drake's fall? But Drake wasn't done just yet. In a surprise move, a clip surfaced of him in Turks and Caicos. Not a vacation, a private studio retreat. And in that video, he's seen pacing, talking to someone off camera, saying, "I just need one clean shot." No subs, no cleverness, just truth. That one line sparked a whole new wave of rumors. Was he finally about to go all in? Was a real diss coming? Some insiders said yes, that Drake had booked 3 full studios across the island. No distractions, no phones. Just him, a few trusted engineers, and a stack of voice notes. But others weren't so convinced. One source close to Kendrick's camp said he can't respond now. The world already picked a side. And that's when things got personal. An ex-girlfriend of Drake's, known online only as Jenny from Law, posted a cryptic Instagram story. Black screen, white text, no context. "He told me this would happen. He said Kendrick was the one he couldn't outsmart." That story went viral in under 10 minutes. Was she telling the truth? No one could confirm it. But at this point, even the possibility of that being real added another layer of weight, because it meant Drake knew this day was coming, and still tried to play the long game. And the fans, they were getting tired. Not just of the beef, but of the silence. For years, Drake had positioned himself as the voice of the culture, the one who spoke when everyone else was quiet. But now, when the culture had questions, he was nowhere to be found. And then came the Spotify switch dash up. Out of nowhere, Kendrick's catalog started climbing. Old projects hit the trending charts. To Pimp a Butterfly streamed higher than it had in years, and Drake, while still doing numbers, had noticeably dropped from a few editorial playlists. The industry was shifting, and not in his favor, and all eyes were on what he would do next. Because in part 3, the pressure mounts. Drake's team turns on itself. Kendrick makes a silent move that says everything. And one final piece of evidence drops. The real reason the diss track leaked. Hey, and who might have leaked it? And when the truth comes out, the betrayal is deeper than anyone thought. Everything shifted the moment a clip surfaced from Kendrick's rooftop video shoot, not just because of the visuals, but because of the sound. A choir of kids could be heard chanting for simple words. "We ain't scared of owls." The phrase wasn't in the original drone clip, but someone leaked the studio audio and synced it. Fans lost their minds. That was it. A direct shot. No metaphors, no mystery. Kendrick was letting the world know on home turf, with kids singing the message loud. "Ovo, don't scare him." But while Kendrick was moving with calculated precision, Drake's camp was falling into chaos. Insiders started leaking text messages, private convos, and even studio scheduling screenshots showing delays, cancellations, and arguments. One thread, allegedly from Drake's tour manager, said, "He's not even listening to anyone right now. He's in a different space. Or backed into a corner." Either way, fans started noticing something strange. People around Drake were disappearing. One longtime OVO member, A&R rep Jules Monroe, unfollowed both Drake and the OVO account. No explanation, just gone. Another producer who helped build the sound behind "If You're Reading This, It's Too Late" posted a cryptic message on Threads. Loyalty is tested when the storm hits. And that's when the mole theory exploded. One anonymous post from an OVO burner page made a wild claim that the last response track didn't leak randomly. It was leaked on purpose, not by Kendrick's team, not by a hacker, but by someone inside OVO, the reason. To sabotage the drop before Drake could officially release it and take control of the narrative. Fans started piecing things together. Drake's rollout was rumored to include a surprise release, visuals, even merch, and yet none of that happened. The leak dropped days before the alleged plan, and within hours, OVO had gone dark. No press, no promo, just silence. Someone wanted it dead, and people started pointing fingers at one name, Elijah Banks, OVO's digital strategist and one of Drake's newer hires. Why him? Because of one thing. He was also spotted last year at a PG Long private listening event in LA. The internet erupted. Clips of him in the background, nodding to Kendrick's unreleased tracks, resurfaced. Twitter dug up old tweets where Elijah praised Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers and even quoted Kendrick's lyrics during Drake's album Week. Fans connected the dots. Maybe Elijah wasn't loyal. Maybe he played both sides. The betrayal narrative caught fire. Memes flew. Captions like "Never trust a man who vibes with both sides" went viral. Even OVO diehards started asking, how deep does this go? But that wasn't the only storm brewing, because while Drake was in Turks and Caicos, ALLEGEDLY, recording New Heat, Kendrick made another quiet power move. He linked up with J. Cole. No post, no announcement, Just one photo leaked from a closed-door event in Raleigh. Kendrick and Cole backstage, smiling deep in conversation. Fans zoomed in on the background. No stage, no crowd. It looked private. And then a source close to Cole's camp confirmed they're working on something. Not a track, a movement. That word movement set everything off. People started speculating that Cole and Kendrick were planning a cultural event. Something bigger than music. A tour, a documentary, an art piece. Whatever it was, it didn't involve Drake, and that sent a message louder than any bar. Drake's former alliances were slipping. His enemies were organizing. And his fans, they were left in limbo, waiting for a response that hadn't come. And then it did. Sort of Drake posted a single image on Instagram, a chessboard. Mid-game, no caption, just black and white pieces. And one white bishop knocked over. Fans scrambled to decode it. Was he saying he sacrificed a piece? That he took a strategic loss? Or was it a shot at Kendrick, claiming Kendrick's next move would be predictable? Nobody knew for sure. But one thing was certain: the energy had shifted. The perception of power was no longer in Drake's hands. Kendrick was leading the conversation, controlling the silence, and building momentum without saying a word. Even Drake's brand deals started reacting. A major fashion line that Drake had collaborated with quietly removed his capsule from their homepage. Spotify's Rap Caviar playlist featured multiple Kendrick tracks, but none from Drake's recent project. And then, out of nowhere, another twist dropped. A whistleblower account posted a heavily blurred screenshot from a FaceTime call, claiming to be from someone inside OVO's legal team. In the screenshot, a message was partially visible. He's considering walking away from the drop entirely. Says it's not the right time. Fans couldn't believe it. After months of tension, was Drake about to let it go? One YouTube commentator said it best: "This ain't just a loss. This is the first time Drake's power didn't buy him silence. It's bleeding in public now." But even while the world speculated, one final thing was still missing: the identity of the person who leaked last response. The moment everyone had been waiting for finally arrived in the most unexpected way. A popular underground podcast called Off the Record scheduled an episode with a surprise guest, someone nobody expected to see or hear from again. Jaden Cruz. Jaden was once one of Drake's closest confidants, a childhood friend who helped build the OVO empire from the ground up. But after a public falling out in 2019, Jaden disappeared from the spotlight and cut all ties with Drake. For years, rumors swirled about what really happened between them. Some said jealousy, others said betrayal, but no one knew for sure. Until this interview. As the podcast went live, the energy was electric. Jaden didn't hold back. From the first question, he spoke with a mix of regret and anger. He admitted the falling out wasn't just personal, it was professional. "I felt used," he said. "Like I was just a pawn in a bigger game." Then the conversation took a shocking turn. When asked about the leaked last response track, Jaden leaned in and smiled wryly. Double quotes. "Yeah, I leaked it," he said simply. The chat room exploded. "Wait, what?" Jaden leaked Drake's diss track, "The Family Mole. This changes everything." He went on to explain the reasons. And it wasn't money. It wasn't jealousy either. It was revenge. "Drake promised me things. Bigger moves, opportunities, but behind closed doors, it was all talk. People like me were pushed aside for new blood. I tried to talk to fix it, but no one listened." Then the real bombshell. When I heard about the last response rollout, the way it was being handled, the fake hype, I just couldn't watch it anymore. So I leaked it, to expose the truth, to let the world see that Drake's team wasn't united. That this beef wasn't about the culture anymore. It was about politics, control. Jaden's words cut deep. It was the insider's perspective nobody had before, the voice of someone who had been there, loved the team. and then watched it crumble. And the fallout was instant. Ovo's social media accounts went dark for 48 hours. Drake posted a vague message on Twitter. Sometimes the biggest battles are the ones inside. Fans debated what that meant. Was it an apology? A warning? A resignation? Kendrick, true to form, stayed silent publicly but apparently ramped up his own private celebrations. Sources said his team threw a low-key party in La, fighting close friends and industry legends, quietly marking what many saw as a symbolic win. But inside Ovo, the war wasn't over. Jaden revealed that after the leak, Drake's inner circle split into factions, those loyal to Drake and those who felt the old guard needed to change. He hinted at secret meetings, heated arguments, and even threats of legal action against him. Drake's team wanted to bury me, race me, but the truth always finds a way out. And then, the final twist, Jaden claimed that he was not acting alone. That other insiders, disillusioned with how Ovo was handling the beef, had fed him intel. Some were even working directly with Kendrick's camp. This wasn't just a leak. It was a coordinated move to reset the game, to end the charade. Internet went wild. Fans were divided. Some called Jaden a traitor. Others called him a hero. Debates flooded every platform. And Drake's reputation, for the first time, seriously questioned. Yet, amid the chaos, one thing became clear. This wasn't just a rap beef anymore. It was a saga of loyalty, betrayal, power, and pride. A story that showed even the biggest stars have cracks in their empire. And as the dust settled, fans were left with burning questions. Will Drake fight back? Can Ovo recover from this? Will Kendrick ever acknowledge the drama? And most importantly, is this truly over? What no one could deny was that the game had changed forever. And that's where we leave it. For now, the battle lines are drawn, the players exposed, and the story still unfolding. But before we wrap, want to know what you think. Did Jaden do the right thing by leaking the track? Is Drake losing his throne? Or is this all part of a bigger plan we don't see yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you want more deep dives like this. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Because trust me, this story isn't over. Not by a long shot. So after everything we've uncovered, the question remains, is this the end of Drake's reign? Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided like never before. Jaden's explosive confession flipped the whole narrative on its head, exposing cracks in Ovo that no one wanted to admit were there. What started as a rap beef has turned into a full-blown saga of betrayal, loyalty, and power struggles behind the scenes. Kendrick's silent dominance and strategic moves have clearly shifted the culture, leaving Drake's team scrambling and his fans wondering if their hero can come back from this. The industry is watching, waiting for Drake's next move. But will it be a comeback or a slow fade? There are so many unanswered questions. Will Drake respond publicly? Can Ovo rebuild trust within its own ranks? And how will Kendrick and Cole's movement change the rap game forever? One thing is for sure. This story is far from over and the drama will keep unfolding. Now it's your turn. What do you think about Jaden leaking the track? Is Drake done? Or is he just playing a longer game? Drop your opinions in the comments below. Smash that like button if you want more breaking tea and insider news. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a beat in this ongoing saga. This is where we're at. But trust me, the next chapter is coming and it's gonna be wild. So stay tuned, stay ready, and as always, keep it locked right here. We'll be back with the latest.